Sonic the Hedgehog, to me, is probably one of the biggest and best video game sequels of all time.
They introduced an animal friend, which would become something of a series staple with Miles Tails Prower. They introduced the Spin Dash. They introduced Supersonic. And so with those three elements, this became not only a Sonic game, but it became a defining way to carry the franchise forward for years to come.
So Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was obviously the sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog, which came out on the Mega Drive, and it was probably one of the first landmark releases in gaming, as far as I'm concerned anyway. They dubbed it Sonic Tuesday, and it offered incredibly upgraded visuals, a whole rafter of new awesome music, and obviously lots more stages that somehow were even more intricate than the original, and that blew my tiny little mind.
The Spin Dash was truly a game changer, literally a game changer for Sonic the Hedgehog. You get the option to have the Spin Dash in Sonic 1 for a reason. It really is a move that changed the way you play Sonic games.
My first experience with the game was that it was the first game that I owned. I remember struggling with the chemical plant zone, you know, where you needed to jump on the platforms as the water was rising.
And then when you get Supersonic and you're like, this is amazing, it's great. And then fast forward a couple of years, I get Supersonic, we're playing the game, we're having fun with it, and then I find Mr. Cave Zone. And I find a certain hole with 100+ rings. And I gotta just sit and wait until those rings run out because there's no way I'm gonna do it. And the party pit was bored because all you can do when you sit down there is just party because you've got the Sonic 2 music going on and you can't do anything. You ain't getting out there. So fondest memory, definitely getting the emeralds as a kid and then finding the party pit when we grew up a little bit.
I didn't understand how Tails was following me around. I actually had an idea that maybe someone was controlling him remotely. And then when I hit Chemical Plant Zone, I was fully immersed in the game and played it beginning to end again and again and again for years to come, and it has since become my favorite Sonic the Hedgehog game.
Sonic 2 probably has some of my fondest memories, and I can easily think of one that really just means so much to me, and it's when I would sit down and boot up Sonic 2, and then my sister wanted to play along too, but she was far too young to be good at video games, and this was the one opportunity that she could pick up the second controller and play as Tails, and she felt like she was involved. She was invincible, she couldn't die, but she felt like she was involved, and I felt like we were playing it together, and as we were playing the levels together, we would like talk out like what they were saying and like using our imagination to create like stories between what they were both doing and why they were there. Such a simple addition as allowing the second controller to control Tails in one player. I just know for a fact that my experience was not alone. I know there are many people out there who got into video games, who got into Sonic because they picked up that second controller.
We actually made quite a good team. We would team up on the bosses, we'd work our way through the levels and the special stages, especially where you've got the two characters. You know, we'd alternate our swinging motion and the half pipe to make sure we got as many rings as possible, trying to clear it and get the Chaos Emeralds.
I want to say the biggest challenge of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is fighting against Mecha Sonic and the Death Egg robot. Because once you enter the Death Egg zone, you start with 0 rings, and from there on out, it's all about skill.
I feel like I've spent a quarter of my life trying to beat the Death Egg robot. Definitely the hardest challenge in the game.
Trying to get 12 hits on that boss fight with 0 rings. So one mistake means you're back at the start of the level doing Metal Sonic fight again. Yeah, no, that's hard. That is difficult.
This was before memory cards and save files and stuff. There was no password system on this game. So if you lost all your lives and you did your continues, you had to start from the beginning.
And I could never beat him. I got to that stage and then I would just lose and have to try all over again, and I was never any good at it. And I still to this day don't think I've beat that without cheats. So yeah, that was a very solid boss for me.
I remember spending a lot of hours that night, so I went to bed a little bit late, but my dad knew about it, and he was just like, okay, please complete this game, finish this game, so you can go to bed. And then I did. It was such a celebration around the house. It was amazing, amazing moment. So the biggest challenge, but also one very fond memory of playing Sonic 2 for sure.
Sonic 2 is my favorite Sonic game. It's one of my favorite Sega games. And it's like an album you just want to listen to again and again. So I will play Sonic 2 again and again and again. And if they're going to put it in a compilation, it just gives me another reason to play through it. Having said that, the introduction of Amy Rose into these games is wild to me. And so to see Amy busting out of Sonic CD and now running around Sonic 2, it's both weird and exciting at the same time, and I really enjoyed it.